Hey guys, this is Anastasia Autumnfire, and this is the 11th night of Yule. On this night, I take a page out of my personal path as opposed to sticking to the northern tradition as much. Whenever I do a working, I call upon the Lord, the Lady, the spirits and ancestors, the elements, and good folk. Throughout the nights of Yule, I have honored the Lord, the Lady, spirits and ancestors, and now on this night, I honor the elements and the good folk. Again, I am holding my camera, so if it's moving or shaking, I am sorry. But I wanted to just kind of do a explanation video, I guess, and then keep this part of the ritual personal. So for me, the elements and the good folk are all of nature, and nature is of them. It is all one and the same, but they are still somewhat different in my practice. I can't necessarily put it into words. I don't know why, but to honor one without honoring the other in the same breath, it just doesn't necessarily work for me. I can't wrap my head around that. For me in my practice, it has always been, if I'm honoring the elements, I am also honoring the good folk, and vice versa. So on this night, I give offerings to them. And this year, what I am doing is I am working with the elements along with the seasons that kind of herald them in. I know I spoke about that on one of the other videos on, I believe it was Monday night's video for Yule, with the goddess energy witchy orb that I made. Really working with that earth energy and opening myself up to that earth energy. So on this night, since I am doing honor to the good folk and the elements, I thought it was the perfect night to dedicate a candle to the earth and kind of open up my elemental study for the year in a ritual, if so to speak. So the candle that I have, just to explain the setup, I've got my, ignore the boxes in the background, I still have gifts and stuff that I need to wrap and everything. But we've got our elemental warden or guardian candles kind of around the perimeter. I've got my 3 candles in back. My Yule log candles have gone out because they were tea lights, and not the kind of tea lights that I can put in new ones. So that is a lesson to be learned. But I still have the Yule log in the back kind of as a foundation piece for my little working altar. And then the candles in the back, I've got my protection candle, my Yule candle, and then my connection or divination candle. And the candle in the middle here, this is actually a candle that I made quite a while ago. I made it using a Pringles can as a mold, which is why you see the little wrinkles and divots and all that stuff from the Pringles can. I thought I would try to see if it would work as a mold. And it did, but it kind of came out a little rough, and when I pulled it out, I didn't necessarily know what I was making a candle for, and then I saw it and I'm like, oh, this is going to be my Earth Warrior candle. I love the band Omnia. It is one of my favorite groups, and their song Earth Warrior, the lyrics are insanely powerful to me, and I cry every time I hear it for some unknown reason. So I crafted this candle, so I wrote lyrics from the song. It kind of became a nerdy inspiration, but a very magical one, because I wrote the lyrics to, I believe it was the first verse, wrapped around the candle, and you can't really see it very well because I've got lights off and stuff, but they're engraved on there in the Theban alphabet. And then I took patchouli oil and rubbed that over the candle. Patchouli, of course, is connected traditionally and also in my own personal preference or personal practice. There it is. I connect it to earth. So I blessed it with patchouli oil and then put rubbed sage around it. So it's kind of like a super fine powdered sage. And then I dripped evergreen green wax down from it. And on top here, I'm trying to see, we've got 2 peridos and 2 onyx to kind of work within the, oh my goodness, as I almost fall out of my chair, there we go. The stone in the center kind of generating the energy for this candle is black tourmaline to keep it grounded and focused. And yeah, the whole point of this candle when I made it was to echo the sentiments of that song, Earth Warrior, to be a protector of the earth and connect to the earth. And I think when you connect to something truly, you can't help but fight for it. And so that was the intent in this. But I had it and I never lit it. I never really did anything with it. It just kind of sat there. It looked very pretty next to my Carnunos altar, but I didn't, it felt like I couldn't light it until I had a dedication for it. Aside from the intent I had given it, it needed an actual purpose. It was supposed to do something with that intent, more so than me just lighting it every now and then with prayers. It needed more of an action. And when I decided to take on the elemental study, it instantly hit me. That's this candle's call to action. It is supposed to bridge that gap and give me that connection so that instead of it just being, you know, a song or just being a phrase of being an earth warrior, I can further my connection to earth, further my love of that element, and bring it into myself even more, so that when it comes down to doing what the earth needs me to do, I can in fact do it and do it properly and proudly. Not that I wouldn't anyway, I just feel like once there is that connection, there's no question at that point. And I don't think that's the proper way of explaining it, but hopefully the gist is in there. I think it's easy to say that you are doing something. Like every time I go out to the park with my daughter or something, I bring a garbage bag and collect garbage, and I like going out on nature walks, and I like being out in nature. But is there more I could be doing? Oh, heavens, yes. Absolutely there's more I could be doing. But even to connect more and just to understand my connection to that element more. That's really why I want to do the study with all of the elements, is to understand my place within them more. And I think that is what this candle was calling me to do. I just didn't know it until this dedication popped up. So yeah. So I am dedicating it with a ritual to open up that study tonight. And to further that, I have this little piece. You can kind of see the insignia. It's a pentagram, and I've got each of the elemental or alchemy symbols for the elements. And this is actually a birch disc, and I had got, oh, there we go. You can kind of see it better that way. I had 5 of these. One for the Lord, one for the Lady, one for spirits and ancestors, this one for the elements, and one for the good folk. And I got them for Samhain. And I thought I threw all of the discs into the Samhain fire as offering. on top of incense. Yet when I got home, bam, here was my elemental offering in my coat pocket, which was odd because I swore it was empty, but okay. And I thought, okay, well, I just need to set it on fire here. And then something said, no, hold up, take a step back. It didn't go in the Samhain fire. Maybe it's not meant to go in the Samhain fire. So I waited, and a few nights later, sure enough, it came to me. It is to be used for this ritual to open myself to my elemental study for the year 2018. So that is what I am doing tonight. I'm going to have a little fire in my cauldron here. I've got some dirt and also ashes that I collect throughout the year in there. So I'm going to burn this while opening myself up. Birch, of course, is a tree traditionally. It stands for new beginnings. It is very much a tree of the goddess, and I think the elder is obviously it's a feminine tree. It is a goddess tree. Some people, if I say it's the tree of the goddess, I know I'll get shout outs going, no, that's actually the elder tree or what have you, but it's a tree with feminine powers. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to light that as an offering to open myself and my practice up to this study, as well as dedicate this candle so that I can start my study with the earth element. Because of course the winter solstice, the first is the first day of winter. There we go. Winter solstice, first day of winter. And winter, of course, is the season of earth. So yeah, I wanted to keep the ritual personal, but I thought I would just give a rundown as to how I am honoring on this night. So with that, I will leave the video. Again, sorry about the shaky hand. I will hopefully have that remedied soon. Blessed be. Bye, guys.